Welcome to Season 4 of the Changing Earth podcast with Sara F. Hathaway, blending survival fiction and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sara F. Hathaway.
Hello and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 159, Season 4, episode 35. So we're running up to the end of Battle for the South. It's coming down to the really, really good stuff of the story, the part that I really love. And luckily, book 5 is right around the corner, and that book now has a title. It is going to be called Dark Days in Denver. So it gives you a little hint as to where the setting takes place there and kind of what's going on in that story. So excited to share that with you. We'll probably be starting the new book right around the release date. So that should coincide perfectly. I think I have them lined up really good. And also for all my listeners out there who are also participants on my show, you can look forward to season 5's lineups of the topics coming out. And then you guys can go and get a hold of some of those topics and see what you want to do for the show for the next season. So a lot of really fun stuff coming up, and excited to share that with you. I got to take a moment to give a shout out to all of my Patreon contributors. I really appreciate all your feedback. I'm going to have some great bonus clips from this interview that I have with Dale and Lisa today. Dale and Lisa Goodwin, always honored to have them on my show. We always talk forever, so I've got some great bonus clips that I can share with you. So if you're interested in becoming a Changing Earth if you're interested in becoming a Changing Earth subscriber, head on over to www.patreon.com/Changing Earth and go ahead and get signed up there. For as little as $3 a month, you get access to all kinds of great goodies. My other book that I'm working on is over there, and you can get a direct access line to me. And I really appreciate the support. It's what keeps the show going. So please head on over to Patreon, www.patreon.com/Changing Earth and become a Changing Earth subscriber. Well, I've decided that I'm going to keep sharing my jiu-jitsu stories with you because I'm a pretty, go-getter type gal, obviously. And, groundwork is something that I've always shied away from for a long time. I've been a stand-up fighter for a long time, and I do pretty well there. Pretty skilled at what I do. And so the ground game was just very foreign to me. I don't like being in close to people. I don't like being put in those positions. And that's exactly why I'm challenging myself to step up to this plate. And I tell you what, I don't know if it's getting any better or not. I mean, I'm learning and I'm scrambling and that kind of stuff. But I can't tell you I have any kind of confidence in it yet. But that's why I wanted to keep sharing the story with you. Because a lot of you out there are just intimidated of going into the gym, or you're intimidated of going into that martial arts school to start your learning journey. And it's so important that you do, no matter what age you are. There's programs out there that can get your body moving, get your body stronger, gives you something to do while your brain something to do while you're training your body. So I really wanted to keep telling you the challenges that I'm facing with jiu-jitsu because you might look at me and be like, well, she's been training for years, she's already accomplished and I'm just starting out. But you know what? Everybody starts somewhere. And the master has tried more times than the new person has, or, the master has failed more times than the new person has succeeded. So, it's all about trial and error. It's all about just keeping at it. And that's why I thought it was really important to let you know that, hey, we all struggle with that. But that's no excuse to keep you from going in and trying those activities. Okay, so that's enough ranting for me for now. That's all I'm going to give you. I'm going to stay on you about this. I want to hear some stories about, hey, Sara, I started martial arts because, you're ragging on us so hard during the podcast. So I started doing some training, show me some pictures and things like that. Let's get going and get our bodies going because body is number one. All your preps don't mean nothing. And if you can't carry a bug out bag, if you can't, protect yourself when you need to. So absolutely, it's a skill that you're going to use today, that you're going to use tomorrow. It's good health. It's good everything. So I'm not going to lighten up on you at all. I want to see some feedback. I want to see what you guys are doing with it. So last week on the Changing Earth podcast, Erica was headed into Vegas the same way that she got out of Vegas, which is in a garbage car on a train, which is kind of nasty, but that's why it works, and in the fictional story at least it works. So they're headed back in that way, and today the insurgents begin. So today we're on the move, and we're going into battle, and along the journey they start running out of weapons, and they have to start improvising weaponry for people that they're rescuing while they're on this mission. So here to talk to us today about improvised weaponry, just different ideas you can use to start thinking about the things you could design, start thinking outside the box. But here today is Dale and Lisa Goodwin. As I mentioned earlier, always a pleasure to have Dale and Lisa on my show. They are the hosts of the Survivalist Prepper podcast. And Dale's doing all kinds of great things over there. Lisa's got mad skills as well. So, I'm always honored to have them on my show. And I'll have a little tidbit for you later in season 5 about a special little announcement that I have for Dale and Lisa. So I haven't even told them yet. So shh, and we'll see if Lisa's out there listening. She's going to get a hold of me and go, "What are you talking about?" Because I haven't even told her yet. So anyway, we are headed out to Denver in September 22nd and 23rd. We'll be out at the Self-Reliance Expo, me and my husband, and I'll have books out there. I'll be able to meet you. I'll be able to sign books, and I really encourage you to take time, head on out to the Self-Reliance Expo in Denver. I'm actually, just tickled silly to be going out there and spending time with Dale and Lisa while we're there, and so I can't thank them enough for everything that they've done for me, their friendship, and just a great, if it wasn't for this podcast, I wouldn't have that friendship, and that's how we really know that the Lord works in mysterious ways. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and get into chapter 35 of Battle for the South. I'm so excited to bring it to you. I'm going to leave you totally hanging at the end, so you're going to be all mad at me, but if you have the book, you know where it's going, but that's the way the show rolls. So have fun with the chapter, and we'll see you after. Chapter 35. The squeaking of the wheels was deafening as it echoed off the walls of the garbage cart. The train came to a stop. They waited. If their contact was alone, he would let them know. Boom, 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 someone knocked on the car. They used a series of footholds that had been welded onto the inside to climb out. Once Erica's feet hit the ground, she knew the way immediately. They ran to the gate with their hoods still pulled tightly, concealing them and their heat signatures. She looked up quickly, assessing the scene. Bennett was shaking hands with the contact. Erica recognized him. His brother had been the leader of a camp that was established in California before the tsunami. He stayed when Erica's group left and was lost. Vince and Erica had formed a special relationship with his brother. "Alex!" Erica declared, hugging him. Bennett knew there was no time for catching up. "Staff Sergeant White, take your team and secure the gardens. Erica Deck Smith, let's go," Bennett commanded. Erica kissed Vince softly, and he hugged her fiercely. Then he hugged his boy, telling him, "Keep your mother safe." "I will, Dad," Dex replied as he turned to follow Erica and Bennett. They weaved in and out of the greenhouses until they were out of sight of the other team. Cautiously, they crept forward until they saw the building where the refugees working in the gardens or warehouses ate. It was dark and void of life. They slowly moved around the building. There was a black federal soldier standing there. The metal of his prosthetic leg glinted in the moonlight despite its frosted coloration. Erica knew this soldier well. She was just about to call to him when Bennett stopped her and whistled very softly. Sergeant Terrence Walker turned around and walked towards the corner of the building nonchalantly. He looked around carefully, as if he was completing a sweep of the area. He turned towards them but never looked at them. He said quietly to the air, "I'll walk to the gate, open it, walk through, and do a quick search of the other side. That's all the time you have to get through. The refugees are ready on the other side." He turned back around like his search was complete and headed back toward the gate. The darkness would hide them, but the cloaks had to do their job against the up-close thermal lenses. They tucked in tight and crept behind Sergeant Walker as he opened the gate and walked through like he didn't have them tight on his heels. They scurried through the doorway as Sergeant Walker turned back around. He went back through the gate and locked the gate. Erica heard it click twice.
First Sergeant Bennett's reflection glinted off the metal of the steel door to the prison facility as he approached it and knocked. A slide opened in the door and Bennett told him a password. The door opened and the team flooded in. Dexter threw a knife into one of the soldiers' neck, and Erica jumped on him to muffle the sound as he died. Bennett was strangling the other guard with a rear naked choke while Smith ran to the door to make sure no one was coming. "Dexter, Smith, you two hold this position. No one comes in," Bennett ordered. "Yes, sir," they replied. Erica looked in the tiny viewing windows as they made their way down the hall. Her mom wasn't in any so far. Bennett, familiar with this facility from his time working here, led her to a series of cells that held the captive mercenary soldiers. After they were freed, Bennett led them to a small armory within the prison and tried to arm them all. There weren't enough weapons to go around, but they started improvising. Bennett instructed them to go and free the other prisoners, and if Nancy was found, report back immediately. Suddenly, the alarm sounded. Erica's heart pounded. It was too soon. She hadn't had enough time. "We have to find my mom," Erica told Bennett. Bennett led her out of the room to an area where the political prisoners were taken. As they ran down the hall, Erica heard the noise outside the building begin to roar. She remembered the sound from the last time she had left this place. "They're rioting already," Erica worried. "Everything is happening too fast." "Don't worry, we'll find her," Bennett assured her. Erica heard gunfire from outside as they carefully made their way down the hall. "Guess we're going live," she said, bringing her rifle to a ready position. Entering the final hallway, they came upon a group of feds securing the exit. Their backs were to Bennett and Erica, and their weapons were aimed at the door. Bennett and Erica's silenced weapons flashed in the dimly lit building as they took the soldiers by surprise. Quickly, they searched the remaining cells. Although there were many grateful prisoners here, none of them were Erica's mother. They returned to the entry where Johnny and Dexter waited. The building had been searched from top to bottom, and all the refugees and prisoners had been released. There was no sign of Nancy. "Tweed has her," Erica told Bennett. "I have to go get her." "Erica, that base will be swarming right now," Bennett cautioned. "She's my mom, Bennett. Don't you understand?" Erica pleaded. Bennett pulled one of the mercenary soldiers to himself. "Who's your commanding officer?" The boy pointed to a man who was stepping forward. "I am, sir. Gunnery Sergeant Christopher Crane, sir," he said, extending his hand. "Gunnery Sergeant Crane, I'm leaving Corporal Smith with you. He knows the details of the mission. I need you to rally these refugees and keep them pressing outside the gates. The mercenary and militia teams won't be long. Just keep them alive," he ordered. "Dex, Erica, let's go." Outside the door, the world was erupting with fury. Flames burned brightly along the fence line that separated the refugees from the landowners. Bennett led Dex and Erica back to the small gate they had come through. It was open. "Thank you, Sergeant Walker," Bennett whispered as they crept along quietly behind the warehouses. There were federal soldiers rushing towards the confrontation with the refugees, but they didn't notice the three infiltrators quietly slipping through the shadows. The Luxor shined brightly in the night and buzzed with activity. "Come with me," Bennett ordered them, leading them into a small building. There were guards inside the doors, but with the noise erupting outside, no one heard their muffled pistols, ending the lives of the guards. Bennett led them to a tunnel that had connected the casinos at one time. They rushed along the tunnel, dispatching 2 more guards at the other end. The room they had entered had a stairwell that could access the management levels at the top. They climbed the stairs cautiously to Matthew Tweed's floor and opened the door into the hallway. There were guards, dead and slumped over on the floor. Bennett looked curiously at Dexter and Erica. They shrugged back. Quietly, they flooded into the hallway, posting up on either side of the door. Bennett began counting down. 3, 2, 1, with his hand on the door.
This turn of events brings Erica right to the door of Matthew Tweed's office. So what are they going to find on the other side? Well, I guess you're going to have to tune in next week to see what is on the other side of the door. In the meantime, I have Dale and Lisa Goodwin with me today. As I mentioned in the preface, love Dale and Lisa, so let's get right into their bio. Dale and Lisa are the producers of The Survivalist Prepper. In early 2013, Lisa and Dale decided to create survivalistprepper.net and become a bigger part of the preparedness community. They are not the overboard tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theories Actually, they kind of are because they have the tinfoil hat time, but they tell you that they are, and some of the best shows, best times. So love the tinfoil hat time, but they're just like us, everyday Americans that enjoy the freedoms that this country offers. Lisa is more of the prepper, and Dale's more of the survivalist or outdoor type, and they write articles ranging from first aid to food storage to primitive and wilderness skills. Basically, anything that involves preparedness and survival. If you want to get a hold of Dale and Lisa Goodwin, head on over to www.survivalistprepper.net. That's www.survivalistprepper.net. So let's go ahead and welcome Dale and Lisa to the show. Today, I am back with my awesomest friends in the whole world, my awesomest podcasting friends, Dale and Lisa Goodwin. Dale and Lisa, thank you guys so much for coming back on my show.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to be here. This is going to be a cool episode to talk about.
It's like an honor to be on the Changing Earth podcast.
Right.
We're going to be ripping it up with some improvised weapons today. It's so much fun to just create.
Yeah. Zombie tools.
Yes, zombie tools. So at this point in my book, our chapter that Bennett and Erica, they just freed all the captive militia soldiers. They're just forming this big revolution against everything that's going on. And they don't have enough weapons, so they got to improvise. So like I said, we're talking improvised weapons. And let's start out with like some handheld weapons and kind of go from there. Like what could we club them with kind of?
You want to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
The way that my thinking is my brain, how I wrap my head around the whole improvised weapons. This started back for me when I was at work and we were told we had to watch this active shooter. What I can't even remember what they called the video, something where, you run and you hide and basically telling you not to confront somebody. But if you come into that situation, then you have to confront them. So a coworker and we literally went just looking around our workstations and our work area, finding what could we use as a weapon. So that was how I started this whole journey. And it's just like, it's a game now to figure out what you can use as a weapon. And I would say probably 90% of people have a very good weapon in their hand. If they don't have anything else and they only have one thing on their person, what does everybody have on them?
Keys.
Well, keys is a good one too, but
phone?
Your phone.
Why is that? You can take a picture of them and tell them.
Yeah.
No. You're like face to face with somebody. If you turned your phone on your side and smacked them in the eye, like hit it like on the end into the eye,
could be,
or up the nose, you could do some severe enough damage that's going to allow you some time to get away quickly.
Yeah, I guess a lot better in your fist, I suppose. I don't.
It depends.
You're not breaking your fist then.
Yeah,
right. And if you're not working to punch, if you're not practicing punching, you could seriously injure your fist doing stuff like that.
So someone like me, who I am not a trained fighter in any sense of the imagination, I don't even know when last time I smacked somebody was.
I can just imagine. I mean, it seems a little bit weird, but could you imagine getting hit with a cell phone?
Yeah,
it's gonna hurt. It'd be.
Yeah, I mean, especially
I could see it as a good throat, like go to the Adam's apple.
Exactly. Yeah, if you go for the vulnerable areas.
Yeah, because you don't need much to really set somebody back if you hit them. I mean, you could spearhand them literally in the neck, and you're going to put them down for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a good point about the whole work thing. There's a lot of things. I mean, staplers. Not necessarily used as a stapler. You don't staple somebody's forehead. Absolutely. That would just piss them off. But
yeah,
use it as that blunt object.
Take your phone and you just twirl your phone around the receiver part. You get to bop somebody in the head. Hopefully you have really good aim though.
Like a corded phone?
Yeah.
And
stick it in your office.
Yeah, which they basically have them at work, but nobody really has them in their homes anymore.
No, but you have it at work, or you could choke somebody. I guess, get behind them.
Yeah,
choke them with the phone.
Take that piece of a paper cutter off that actually cuts the paper.
Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah. You'd have a machete.
Oh yeah, the guillotine cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how deep it would cut, but
those things are sharp.
It'd scare somebody. Like, hey, what are you going to do with that? And then. It's a bit of damage. It's got the blunt object, sharp object effect all at the same time.
Yes, and that is why I love thinking about improvised weapons so much, because it's not thinking necessarily like zombie weapons. Those are cool. Like if we're going to get a bat named Lucille, heck yeah, I would do that. Totally do that. And making weapons that way, but it's also thinking outside of the box, just around your person where you are right now.
So that's one of the reasons why I train with Eskrima sticks. So they're like the medium-sized sticks. You hold 2 of them, and you can use them as clubs. Well, basically, you can find sticks like that. You can roll up a magazine, and it works as an Eskrima stick. So it's, I didn't want to train with sword or a bow staff because those aren't things that you usually find. Except for, I do carry a walking stick always when I'm hiking, so you could use it as a bow staff, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to go with the Eskrima sticks, because where can't you find an item that's like an Eskrima stick? You could use 2 spoons from your kitchen, 2 wooden spoons.
Yep. So, there's so many things. You just have to not think traditionally, basically, and almost anything can become a weapon.
Right. Yeah, put the stapler on a string and start swinging that thing at somebody.
Yeah, kidding, huh?
Yeah, well, and I mean, most of us as preppers, we have some sort of a fire extinguisher. Well, if you're in an office environment, there's going to be fire extinguishers in your office.
Oh, fair enough.
You couldn't use a fire extinguisher, like blow it on somebody, just release all of the foam. And then once they're stunned with that, just smack them on the head, smash their head in with the rest of the fire extinguisher. That's a huge weapon.
Or just give you like a smoke screen to actually get away from them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just remove yourself.
Yep.
I don't know if I was able to actually spray him in the face or whatever and get him disorientated.
I'd totally
I think I'd have to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on is it like a real long-term survival situation where you have to take care of yourself, or are you just trying to get away until help can arrive, right?
Right.
Because, I'm a fighter. I train to fight every day. And I'll tell you, any fight that you're not in is one you're going to walk away from.
Exactly. That's the best fight to be in.
Yeah. Yep. And, on just different weapons and all of that in general, none of this kind of takes it all still takes the training. It doesn't take the place of training, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You can improvise all sorts of different weapons, blades, sticks, all that stuff. But if you don't have the training, if you don't know how to use a knife or, something like that, what's the point of, it's still going to be you flailing around, whether it's $100 knife or something, you grab out of the kitchen, or whatever.
The video game button flail.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, the skills, that whole part of it with all of these different improvised weapons, it's still, whether it's a gun or whatever, you still need the training.
Any type of a weapon, yeah, you still need to have some sort of training. But if you let's say you're working in an office with a bunch of other people, the likelihood of them having training is probably slim to none. So if you have some training, that's probably a good thing. But even if you don't have training, I still think you shouldn't be just like sitting there and waiting for something to happen, because sometimes even just the act of surprising somebody, that can give you the opportunity to get away.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah, especially these days with active shooters and all that, they're expecting you to do exactly what they say: run, hide.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not condoning, taking them head on or whatever.
No.
But if that, the more you know about this stuff, if that opportunity comes up, maybe I don't know. I hate to say maybe you take that. I don't want to get in any trouble here, but I think me personally, if there was an opportunity that I saw, I would try to take it rather than running away and then, 20, 30 other people dying. It's like those nightclubs get shot up. There's hundreds of people in there and nobody does a damn thing.
Yeah. If 3 people would have just ran at him, even if you're getting shot, maybe you could have taken him out to save everybody else.
Yeah. Instead, they get to reload 3 times, and it's people's mentality these days.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to stand there and let you reload. That's not happening in my world.
Yeah. Especially, could you imagine if we had a group of like 5 or 6 of us and there was something like that happening? they wouldn't have a chance to reload, I don't think.
No,
No.
that's why they do it
No.
where they do it, though.
Yeah. And that's
And-
what
Soft targets.
that's what it just seems like, I mean, places like where I work, schools and stuff, those are all soft targets. And unfortunately, these horrible people that are doing these bad things, they know that. So of course they're going to go for the soft target.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We kind of went down a rabbit hole there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But that's still good, I mean, because you have to be more aware in those areas. And one of the things that I was going to say was learning a lot of the groundwork that I am right now. My instructor teaches me in a lot of ways that so I can teach people who may not have the amount of athletic experience. And they may not, my biggest thing was I wanted to learn how to teach older people how to defend themselves. So he's like, pepper spray and a gun, and I'm like, well, that's all well and good, but what if your bullets run out? What do they do then? He's like, if you weren't an athletic individual coming up, through the years, it's going to be a lot rougher. However, there are certain things that you can move or that you can learn. And so the soft targets like the neck, the eyes, the eardrums, knees, things like that are all these targets that you should be aiming for. But a lot of people don't think that. They're like, oh, hit them in the mouth. Well,
Yeah.
hit them in the mouth. So you knock their teeth out. They're still coming at you. That doesn't matter. But if you bust an eardrum, they're on the ground. They're going to be in a lot more pain than if you just bust a tooth out. They're just going to be pissed off then. You don't want to just piss them off,
Yeah. And also with that comes the confidence part of it too, of knowing that you know what to do, rather than when the situation presents itself and then you're like, I don't know what to do, like at work when you have the stapler, you just lob the stapler across the room and run like, oh.
Yeah, right.
So you have that confidence of, okay, this is what I could do. This is what I could do. And when that opportunity presents itself, you know where to take advantage of that. Whereas without that training, you're just kind of, you're lobbing a stapler across the room and getting the hell out of there.
Right. Everybody have fun. We'll see you later.
It's like that old saying, right? You don't have to run faster than the bear. You just have to run faster than the person you're with.
It's true. It is true. Maybe that'll work as a human shield for you on the way out.
Yeah, exactly. Trip somebody on your way out.
That's funny. So yeah, we got like the traditional, I always keep a baseball bat by my doors and stuff like that. Your walking sticks are really good. I keep them by my door even so that I can't, nobody is coming through my door without me having access to a weapon right there. So
yeah. Another one is like the garden tools or the tools you have in your garage or whatever. Hammers, screwdrivers, shovels, pickaxes, rakes, all that stuff.
Yeah, your pitchfork.
Yep. I like a hoe. That sounded really bad.
That does
Really?
sound bad.
But
Yeah,
I
that
like
does.
a hoe because those things are freaking sharp on the corners. And
That's true.
you can also shove somebody in the face with it too.
Yeah.
Just on the flat edge.
That's true. The pitchfork might like get stuck in there for too long.
Yeah.
You can't get it back out. I could buy that.
The pitchfork like a spear and then grab something else.
Hopefully you've got some really good aim and a little bit of strength because those things are heavy to throw.
Yeah. Use your pitchfork like an ladle.
Around your house, even if you're in an urban area, you have tons of possibilities as far as weapons go. I mean, just kids' sports equipment, stuff like that is usually pretty, you usually have some good items out of there. Hockey stick, the baseball bat, lacrosse stick, stuff like that. So
well, and in an urban area, when you're thinking like post SHTF or whatever, or even SHTF type scenario, in an urban area, you may have more choices because you've got them out here where we live. We've got like wood and stuff.
We got some rocks.
Yeah, in an urban area, there might be metal, there might be other different things that are just all over the place that you could use as far as weapons are concerned. Parts of cars, buildings, all that different stuff. Who knows? Be just kind of, try to look around, figure out what you can get, and figure out what you can do with it.
yeah, think fast. Keep your brain working.
Well, and I think that's why it's important to do things like that right now.
And it's fun.
It is fun. We love doing
like
that.
I said, zombie weapons. Yeah.
Zombie weapons. Yeah, but thinking, outside of the box right now. Look around where you're sitting right now. Find 3 things that you could use as a weapon if, somebody were to confront you or someone were to come after you. Find 3 things around you right now that you could use as a weapon.
I'm going to knock you in the head with your cell phone. I'm going to take this microphone cord and tie you up.
And what about the microphone stand itself?
And then I'm going to
that sounds like
And
it's getting dangerous over there.
Yeah, he's got his little survival flashlight too. That thing is a weapon.
Oh,
a
right.
bunch of cord, and then I'm going to torture you with me playing guitar.
Nice.
You are screwed, lady.
It is over.
Now, do I get to get in the closet and get everything out of there and use as weapons on you in
You're going to be
retaliation?
tied up, so you can try to do whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, let's see. So I've got my tactical pen over here because I've got tons of pens and notebooks.
Perfect.
Right? I got my stapler. Well, we've already been there. Got the stapler. Could definitely go for the lamp, you know.
Very good. Yeah, and the lamp. Is it a tall lamp?
Oh, it's a little one. I got my microphone boom. I could just
There you go.
wham.
Yeah. And that would keep some distance between you and your attacker.
Exactly.
And that's
No,
the biggest thing.
As long
I
as they
literally have the
you're
baseball
doing a
bat.
podcast.
And the baseball bat too?
Yep,
Perfect.
literally have the baseball bat like right within arm's reach.
That's awesome.
So I might be a little OCD, okay? Maybe a
That's
little.
okay. I don't think it's being OCD. I think it's being prepared for the unexpected because you never know what can happen. And I think a lot of us, that's why we get into preparedness, is because we want to be prepared. We don't want to rely on other people. And if help isn't on its way, you might, be in charge of taking care of yourself because no one's
Yep.
coming to help you.
Well, that's
It's-
at my house. Help is an hour away.
Exactly.
So if you call the police, there's only one cop basically up here. They have to wait for a partner before they can move in on anything, and it takes them an hour to get here.
Yeah, and then
So-
they've got to find your house too.
Yeah, when GPS says I'm in the middle of a field, everybody
Yeah.
pulls up the wrong driveway. So I'm
Yep.
like, I think, I've got my baseball bat there. If it gets any worse, we got the firearms. So just don't come up my driveway, please.
It's the same principle as concealed carry. The odds are, for most concealed carriers, they're never going to have to actually pull that gun and use it. But
Right.
that one time that you did need to, you're going to be glad, and that's why they do it.
Yep.
And I say they because I don't have mine yet, but
I do. So.
do you?
In
Yeah.
California, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to
That's a
say,
pretty
now
big
I
deal.
feel like a total slacker. If you're in
Yep.
California and you have your permit, then I need to get on the ball.
That's right. That's right.
Because-
However, I was told when I got it that because of my martial arts training and everything, that if I brandished that weapon before I was basically being put into a trunk to be hauled away, that they probably have a big problem with that because I have many other ways to diffuse the situation without pulling a firearm.
Because
So-
you are the weapon.
Right? I was like, oh, well, that's great. I don't do martial arts. I do ballet.
There you go.
Yeah.
You need to develop a new form of martial arts that is considered quote unquote ballet.
Right?
That's camouflage.
And another thing, I guess we're talking about handheld weapons and stuff, but another thing that we really, and I don't know if you're going to get into this or not, but I was talking to Lisa earlier about chemical weapons, and she was like,
Oh,
that's
yeah, right.
typical, Daddy. And I was like, well, not like George W. Bush chemical weapons, weapons of mass destruction or anything like that,
Right.
but, the
Raid.
wasp spray, the...
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the
Stuff
super
like that.
shooter one that goes like
Yeah.
30 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, those are
Yeah.
that's what's cool, like with bear spray and stuff too, because they go so far. That's what makes
Mhm.
them a cool weapon, because then that's keeping you in your safety bubble and someone else out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for-
And I keep thinking of like lighting a can of hairspray on fire, the little
Yeah.
torch
oh,
thing.
yeah.
I don't know how effective that would be, but maybe
Well,
it'd freak them out.
I think it would
And it
scare.
can like suck the flame back in and blow up
Yeah.
your hand too. So you got to
Yeah,
watch out for that.
That's the thing that I always worry about, because I grew up with all brothers, so they did that all
Yep.
the time. Steal my Aquanet and
Yep.
go and like, here's your hairspray. But I was always afraid that it was going to get sucked back down into the can and explode.
Yeah.
That's because
Yeah,
you're a big
that's-
chicken, though.
Yeah, I am a
That's
big
why our parents were like, don't do that because, you might blow yourself up.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
That's why we
one
went
thing
outside
that
and did
we did, this was dumb kids, but so we just had a pipe, and my friends were sticking marbles in there with a little bit of gunpowder underneath, right?
Nice.
And then when you light the gunpowder, it shoots the marble off. So my friend was like, well, what happens when we load all the marbles in, and then light it off? Well, he ran out of matches, so he used his cigar and that thing blew a hole in the dirt like you wouldn't believe, and just blew that dirt right into his eyes and everything. So you could definitely do some kind of improvised, like, explosive weapon that way.
Yeah.
For, if you had to in an SHTF situation. So.
Yeah, you could do like the potato gun type thing.
Oh, the potato gun.
The modified potato gun.
Uh-huh. Dude, that would hurt too. I mean, those things, they rifle it. They're not very accurate though. But hey.
No, but if somebody's, by your front door or whatever, and you got a potato gun and you punch them in the face with a potato.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know.
And I think I should say at this point, this is all speculation, so please do not try any of this at home.
Yeah, don't do this at home.
Yeah, don't do this at home, please.
Do not use your family as crash test dummies.
Yeah. It is not a good idea. Your wife is going to be pissed.
Yep.
So, no, out here we have mistletoe that grows in our trees, right? In the oak trees. So annoying. Big old mistletoe balls, but they make like these super hard nodules on the tree, and when the branch comes down, it could work as a great club. But I was always like, you could dip it in something and then light it on fire and launch that thing off, man. It would hurt.
You could even make your own poison darts if you wanted to,
right?
And have the little thing that you blow through.
Yeah, the blowgun.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I was even thinking like of harvesting poison oak, and then you could just like dump it on your attacker, and it might not take care of them for day one, or like even blow the smoke at them, and it might not work right away, but day two, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Their lungs all full of poison oak and stuff. It's over.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. See, now you guys are starting to get into like the not the primitive tools, I suppose, but the stuff that requires you to do a little bit of research beforehand, a little bit of training, a little bit of, the skills and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, understanding what plants are going to do what, understanding, PVCs, making a bow in a STF type situation. If you were to make a bow or something like that, odds are, if you've never done it before or it's basically a stick and a string. And if you try to do that, not going to work out so well.
Not going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
although
but
they do have a lot of the cool ideas for like the double ribbed one that looks really good.
Yeah, they've got PVC bows and all that stuff, but that's stuff that we can kind of play with now and have fun with. And,
right. Yeah. Well, and PVC is sharp, and when it shatters or like you have the shards of it, you can make some really cool improvised weapons with some PVC shards.
You could.
Back in the day, they used to use the blunderbuss, which is basically the marble idea. You just put the gunpowder in there and then back whatever in there.
Yep.
They used to shoot like forks and stuff at each other.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, fork you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
but that's where some of the skills would come in handy. Even like flint knapping would, if you wanted to make some sort of a sharp object, kind of along the same lines of what Lisa was talking about with the PVC, maybe. PVC napping.
Yeah, I think it might be a little bit easier with the PVC.
Yeah, but skills like knot tying. If you got a stick and you want to tie something like a sharp piece of PVC to the end of the stick,
you got to know how to tie a knot.
Yeah, and how to make it actually stay there. So
right,
and making a bow, doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I think it's called etlatl. It's basically a stick that you throw a spear with at really high speeds, but that takes a little bit of talent as far as what angles to cut the notches at, and
that
all
takes mega talent. How to throw it properly,
how to throw it to where it's actually going to hit what you're quote unquote aiming at. Yeah.
Yep.
That's one thing I've always wanted to try to do and see how bad I suck at it, basically.
Right.
But it just looks kind of fun. They've got Matt Graham, who's really good with one. But trying to kill an animal or, defend yourself, probably not, unless you really know what you're doing.
Is that the dude who took the bear down at like 50 yards or whatever with that ladle?
I don't know if it was. I've never seen that, but I've seen him take hogs down. He was on the Dual Survival show. He's the nature boy dude that, tries to, they got the military dude and then the nature dude in all those shows.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it, so. Totally off subject. I've been watching a show called Into the Badlands, And
Oh yeah, we haven't watched that yet.
oh, dude, it's good. I like
Is
it.
it?
Uh-huh.
It looks like there's a lot of martial arts in there, isn't there?
Yeah,
I was
it's a
gonna
ton of
say,
martial
it's a
arts, so it's
circus
right
show.
up my alley. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm like, yeah, I could do that. I could do that.
Yeah.
So, no, it's pretty good though. And then they do a lot of improvised weaponry and whatnot in that one too. So it's like the car, the hubcap like through the head and everything. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's so, I don't want to say fun, but it is fun to think about, different things that you could use as a weapon.
Yep.
There's basically, I'd say 90% of the things that we have could be used as a weapon in one form or another. Even your
Yes.
words can be used as a weapon.
Yeah. And
Fair
Sarah's
enough.
just talking about hubcaps, and now I'm thinking about, okay, if you got weapons, you're going to need some armor too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hubcap is like a Captain
yeah.
America shield.
Ooh, I want
Yep.
a Captain America shield.
Magazines and duct tape, you can, put them around your arms and stuff, and make armor.
They did that
Yeah.
in World War Z. He made armor out of magazines and duct tape in case the
Yep.
zombie bit him.
You're right. He did do that.
Yep.
Yeah. I have like hockey gear, I could put on hockey
Perfect.
gear, right?
Yeah.
All you got to do is take that hockey gear and get some spray paint and just spray paint it up all zombie-like and stuff, and then you could fit right in with The Walking Dead or
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
It'd be a little tough to do your moves, though, wouldn't it, if you got a bunch of hockey gear on?
It would be a little challenging, although I have thought about doing flying kicks on my ice skates before to some people that I've skated against. So,
Now that's a freaking weapon right there.
right? Yeah.
could-
Blade
pull it
that ice
off.
skate.
Yep.
I'd end up killing myself trying to do that. The dude attacking me'd be laughing his ass off. And then you could sneak up on him and bang him over the head with a stapler or something.
Well, that's why I went ground game, because so many fights go to the ground. I was like, well, it's time to
Yeah.
learn the ground game, because that's been a major part I've been missing. But I'm very claustrophobic, and I don't like this is gonna sound kind of weird, but like wrestling with many sweaty guys. I'm like,
Yeah,
well,
Not your thing.
right? So, but no, that's such an important part of the game that, so now I've been like, okay, everybody who's out there, prepper, survival world, fitness, man, fitness, because
Yep.
like I'm in shape, I do Taekwondo all the time, hit the gym. I'm out on the farm, I did one jujitsu class. I wanted to die. I was like, muscles I didn't even know I had in my body. Because you're just, when you're grappling on the ground, you're just using every bit all the time.
Right.
And-
Well, any of that stuff that you're doing, any of that is going to be beneficial, not only for your preparedness skills and hopefully your defensive skills, but also your health.
Yes.
And you're going to be around longer to be able to do those, maybe do the zombie apocalypse type stuff, because you
Right,
actually
and
take care of yourself.
so many people are like, oh, I got all this stuff. And
Yeah.
I learned how to do all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but you're like 80 pounds overweight, dude.
Right.
I mean,
When was
come
the last
on.
time you actually walked 2 miles? When was the
Yeah.
last time you ran, a half a mile or a quarter of a mile?
yeah. So my big shtick is like, you get in one altercation and now you can't move for 3
Mhm.
days because you're so sore and your back's all messed up and your knees hurt and everything. Then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and if you find yourself in a scuff with someone that's got 50 or 100 pounds on you, if you can outlast them, that's going to be a huge advantage. It doesn't matter, if
Yep.
they got a gun or something, maybe that's a different story. But if you're in a physical altercation and you can just outlast them and wear them out, you're going to have a huge advantage.
Yeah, it's so true. So yeah, muscle endurance and all that. So I'm gonna stay on everybody about getting fit, because it's just like such an important piece to the puzzle. I mean, it's
It
like,
is, and I think it's a
For
lot
a
of
lot of
times
reasons, not just
it's
fighting and
overlooked.
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
We're all
Yeah.
focused on the stuff, and it's like, oh, we should maybe go for. I mean, because we've been doing this lately, even just going for a walk for a bit, and
Yep.
that's all it takes. Just start. That's all you
Yep.
have to do. Just start, and then keep doing it. And do a little, like if you go for, let's say you go out walking or jogging for 5 minutes. Well, the next time go 6 minutes, then 7, then 8, then 9. Before you know it, you're going to be walking, jogging, running, whatever, for up to an hour.
Yep.
I
So
call it
good for your
farmer
brain.
strong.
Mm-hmm.
I call it farmer strong because you don't have to go to the gym and do all that stuff. It's the stuff you do every day. It's actually getting off your butt and going doing something and You know, instead of like me, like a good example is me with the horse manure and stuff. Lisa will take the wheelbarrow out there and she'll pick
Uh-huh.
it up. And I'm like, I'm just going to get my damn tractor
Yeah. And he's always trying to convince me to just use the tractor,
'cause
just
it's
use the
fun.
tractor. And I'm like,
Right?
this is better exercise for me to use my wheelbarrow, and I have to take 3
Well,
loads.
that's even
Three trips.
Fletcher. I'm like, go grab some rocks for the chicken coop. Well, the wheelbarrow's sitting right there. You know, he goes and gets the quad with the trailer. I'm like, dude, you could have put them in the wheelbarrow, push the wheelbarrow up the hill. You're getting endurance. You
That
know,
is-
you're putting more
yeah.
muscle on your legs.
Yep,
Oh,
that is
it's so much
workout.
easier.
That is
Yeah.
such a workout, moving rocks in a wheelbarrow.
Yes.
That is a brutal workout. I have done it, not because I wanted to,
Right?
but oh my
Hey,
gosh.
I'm hardcore,
right?
man. I'm like, do
Yeah.
it. Get her
Yeah.
done.
Yep.
Train while you're working all the
Yep.
time. Even house cleaning. Okay. So you got to clean the bathtub and whatever. So you're doing
Mhm.
squats the whole time you're doing it instead of
Right.
leaning over with your back and, you
Yep.
know.
I mean, the
keeps you moving.
bathtub doesn't naturally clean itself.
It does not.
It does not. No, no. Although I really wish it did. I don't even use mine. My plants just grown all in there.
Yeah, I think our
So-
kids use the one bathtub. Well, we have one upstairs and one downstairs, and I don't think I've ever taken a bath since
I-
I've lived here.
Yeah, I
Those
hate baths.
Kids
It's
do.
not my thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to. I like the idea of exploring a little bit more of armor ideas. So, like we're talking. You could do motorcycle helmet.
Yeah.
You know, if you had to go up against somebody, you might as well put a helmet on because.
Heck yeah.
Right? What are they going to
Yeah.
do then? So I
Yeah,
like that
Definitely
one.
protected in that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some kind of.
It's
My
hard to
brain's
see. I don't
going
know.
here, and I'm trying to figure stuff out. But I'm trying to think like some kind of chainmail type stuff. Like you could put some. I don't know what it would be, but
Armor on your head.
yeah. But I'm trying to think of what things we'd have around the house that work like
in,
that. Probably wouldn't do much.
No.
In Back to the Future 3, he used like the door from the fireplace
Oh,
as
that's
a
right.
breast
Yeah.
shield, remember?
Yeah. Can you think how heavy that would honestly be, though?
Right? I
Yeah,
know.
that
you're
makes me freaking heavy.
Oh, yeah. But
But-
hey, I mean, it's better than getting shot in your heart.
Right. Absolutely.
You
I
grab
wonder-
some duct tape. Are you talking about the grate that goes around the front of a fireplace?
No, on Back to the Future 3, he had the door from the fireplace from the cast iron stove. He put a rope around
Oh.
it, put it around his neck, and he wore it like a shield, like armor.
Yeah, kind of the same thing I'm thinking about.
Oh,
Yeah, you
okay.
could put some duct tape on around it. Yeah, cover your vital organs and all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something.
Fireplace poker. You could have that and a
Oh,
fireplace poker.
fireplace
Fireplace
poker.
would be a heck of
Yeah.
a
You're-
weapon.
Medieval knight right there.
Right there. Oh, yeah. I'm going to get me a big old long piece of PVC, though, and put a jousting end on it.
Well,
would-
I was
that would
thinking
be-
the guillotine thing from the paper cutter. You could put it on a stick and then swing that sucker. That
Yeah.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
Or you could take your ice skate and do what Tom Hanks did in Castaway, put that on the end of like a broom handle or something, and then you've got a makeshift axe.
Yeah. Well,
That's true.
but that goes into the whole knowing how to tie knots, having the supplies, duct tape and stuff.
Yep.
As long as you
Yeah.
got the stuff to do it, we can make all sorts of things. But if you don't have, the
Yeah,
stuff
because
to do
it's
it,
actually really hard to lash something to a stick. You have to know how to cut it, how to set it so that it actually
Yeah.
holds, or else the first time you hit them, it's just going to break and be a piece of junk.
well, if you're a prepper and you don't have a roll of duct tape, you're not doing it right.
Right.
Paracord and stuff, yeah, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
See, and I like my twine better than your paracord.
Yeah, twine is definitely for some things. It's definitely better for more intricate work. Paracord is not for everything, even though I like to say or believe it is.
Right.
It's hard to. It doesn't adhere like twine does as
Mhm.
tightly because
Mhm.
it's just but the way it's constructed. But
Once you get it to cinch down, though, man, it's like impossible to get undone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that makes me think of our horse fencing. It's electrical horse fence. So it looks like rope, but it's like almost like a cotton, and it's got copper
Mhm.
wires braided into it. That
Ooh.
stuff is hardcore. That you could tie somebody up good with that, and then you could like electrocute them, I guess, or shock them, not electrocute
Shock
them.
them.
It would give them a good shock.
Tell me what you know.
Yeah, exactly.
that would be I'm trying to think how you would turn something like that into a weapon, but
The
that
rope
kind of
itself,
that
that's
yeah, it kind of goes into perimeter security when you're thinking about those. That would be improvised weapons as well, and
Fair
that's something
enough.
you would carry with you. But when you're
right.
talking about maybe throwing stuff across your driveway, you've got caltrops that you can make those by just
Mhm.
taking two nails and bending them together. And then, that's something that you don't have to like do right now and have a bunch of booby traps in your front yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if that situation did arise, you take those, throw them all over your driveway. Maybe you throw some stuff you've made across your driveway with some barbed wire around it.
You
that
can
different
do
stuff.
the 2x4 with nails sticking up too, and
Yes.
bury it. If you have like we have a dirt driveway, so we could bury that, nobody'd ever see it, and it would pop their tires at the beginning rather
Mhm.
than allowing them to come up the driveway.
Or you could, I mean, because you can also that way you can guide them which direction you want them to go, and you could
Mhm.
use your vegetation basically around your perimeter. So knowing different trees and like bayberry shrubs, huge spikes on them, or Russian olive trees have huge thorns and spikes on them. I
Yeah.
mean, there's even some climbing rose bushes that are like that, and that would be a very formidable, barrier to keep somebody off of your
Yeah,
property.
we have goat's head out here, and that stuff will go right through a mountain bike tire. It is gnarly.
Yeah.
It'll go through your shoe, like everything.
Yep.
It's
Those
horrible.
are big.
You
Yeah.
could make a whip or something with some paracord, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a little handle, and then
Yeah.
you put some of that, whether it's Russian olive trees or
Yep.
those little thorns and stuff on the end of it.
Yep.
Flap, that would hurt.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Good.
that would hurt.
I don't know if I should say this or not. Probably not, because I'll get called a child abuser. But put kids in line, smack them on the butt.
Oh man.
My grandma used to use switches. Now they didn't have thorns in them, but
Right. Yeah, my grandma wielded the wooden spoon like a ninja master,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
If you came reaching for anything in the kitchen, whap! You're like, "Ah!"
I guess the
You
secret's
know.
not cutting the skin, right?
Mhm. Exactly. Oh man. Yeah, a fan used to be a good idea, but now a lot of times fans aren't metal anymore. A lot of fans
Yeah,
are plastic, so you can't
plastic.
use the blades anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty tough to find a metal fan these days. You'd probably have
Yeah.
to go to
Well, in your car.
The big farm ones are still metal
Yeah, those-
bladed,
Oh,
you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, or the ones for like drying carpets and stuff. I don't know if those are or not.
No, I'm pretty sure those are plastic because
Yeah.
they're very lightweight.
Well, those the big wide ones that I'm
Uh-huh.
talking about, the dry rooms. They've
Yeah.
got the big. I mean, they're wide, but I don't know. I never tore one of those apart. I don't
that'd
know.
be sweet, like wielding the fan blade, send
would-
it out.
That would be cool. Like a
Boomerang.
giant. That's a giant Chinese throwing star.
Yeah.
Sharpen the edges.
Yup. No,
That-
there's
that's
so
kind of funny because as kids, I remember getting in trouble when I was in junior high because we got into our little ninja kick and all that. We made nunchucks and nunchucks and
Throwing
I forget.
stars.
We
Did you have
did
those?
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we got in trouble with that because we took it to school and we didn't. It's not like we were going to use them or anything. We wanted to show people how cool we are. We had our little headbands like Karate Kid type thing. We just wanted to show them what we made. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but,
it's pretty ingenious.
yeah. Back then, these days, you'd get suspended.
Oh, it'd be over.
You get put in
If you-
jail.
You draw a picture of a gun, you get suspended. So
Oh no,
Yeah.
you can't even make like a symbol
On
like a gun
hand.
with your hand.
Yeah.
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 Freaking pussification of America.
Yep,
they've done a
exactly.
fine job at it. Let me tell you.
But that's
It
stuff
is-
you could do. I mean, you'd have one. That's where it would require skills. You have to know what to do with nunchucks and
Yep.
what are they? The batons, where like the police batons. You have to know how
those
to
are
actually
cool.
use those.
Yeah.
Tonfas. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, you got a stick or the nunchucks. You're going to do more damage to yourself.
You sure do. Yeah, you're like thump. Oh man, my head thump.
Knock yourself out.
Somebody's
Yup.
attacking you, they're going to be like, okay, I'm just going to wait a couple minutes until you knock yourself out.
Yeah. And then I'll go get what I want.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So yeah, we've kind of been through them. What about like a stationary projectile weapon? So like something. I'm thinking like the if somebody came up, you could do like the log swing traps.
Oh, that would be
But-
so cool.
Right?
That would
But
be awesome.
I like to kind of relate to an urban setting, since so many more people are in an urban setting rather than a country setting. So maybe you could set something like that up in your garage if somebody was going to come in there. Um,
Yeah,
I've heard about they're called or the Tasmanian devil traps. You basically just wind rope together real tight. And then if the trigger is broke, it smacks something out, right? So if somebody was coming through your door or something, you could put something like that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those you'd have to be pretty careful with, because the target, basically. I mean, it's is it something that would go with a family member, or
That's true.
that would suck to have one of those, like the logs dropping or whatever, that's got big spikes on it, and your wife comes home from work one day. And,
well, I'm talking to SHTF, like long term. You got to have your one, area guarded, but the kid uses the wrong door. Smack. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
Another thing that comes to mind is like the pits that you see it like in Vietnam, the Vietnam War and all that stuff, where it's basically spikes at the bottom of a pit.
Mm-hmm.
Just, make sure the kids know where to walk and all that stuff. That's one of those things you wouldn't want to do right now for liability reasons and all that.
Right, absolutely. But long-term survival situation, that would definitely be an idea. You got to make it look like that's the trail you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Or put a sign up, hey, don't come on here or else, and then or else happens, and you're like, I told you so.
Like
these days, you end up killing the mailman or something, though.
Yeah, not good. Not good. Yeah, none of this. You should try at home again.
Yeah,
do not do these at home. These are just ideas for.
This is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
Only.
Air quotes.
Exactly.
Well, when there's without rule of law, then you do what you got to do. But right now, I don't think I'd be.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think
not.
looked too kindly upon.
I don't even go and set up the traps and stuff, because I'd hate to kill like a cat or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, even like bear traps, things like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That'd be.
But they're pretty darn illegal nowadays. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you can still find them.
You can.
Yeah.
But you definitely can't set those up. That's just. It's kind of cruel. So.
Yeah.
But in that situation,
someone trying to break in my house, kind of cruel too.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to come take my stuff, that's kind of cruel as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's some non-lethal things too, and they would serve as an alarm or possibly a deterrent. But I've seen where they have the mouse traps. I forget how they do it, but it's a mouse trap basically stuck to a tree with a bullet shell. That when they snap that tree line or that trip line, it just makes the bang basically. And it alerts you for something, and then two, it kind of deters them or freaks them out a little bit. That okay, now first of all, my sneak attack is not going to work, and second of all, what the hell was that?
Are they in the bushes shooting at me actively?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I mean, the biggest thing is being a deterrent. You want to be the hardest target possible.
Right.
So even if someone's going to break into your home or in that type of a situation, it's going to hopefully keep people out and away from you. So you wouldn't ever have to go through something like that. But again, your perimeter, but you don't want to have stuff so that you're all looking secluded, even though most of us are. But a gate is a good deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's, one thing
Step
that you can put
that
up.
They got to go through.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you have a gate and somebody else doesn't, it might make it a little bit harder to get to you versus to them.
Well, and then with the gate, think about that improvised stuff you can do. That
we could do lots of
an
fun stuff.
If it is an SHT
situation,
you
could just put super glue on it so that when they went to touch the gate, I know it would dry, but it was a funny thought.
I was gonna say
that would be fun.
I was gonna say that would be awesome if they came in 10 seconds after you did it, but after that,
I know, then it's over.
What
but
about
it sure would be funny.
Yeah, it would. If it were stuck to it.
You know what? If you did have a metal gate,
electrifying
it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Now
Sure.
with our the one we have for the horse pasture,
Yeah.
that's not enough.
No.
I mean, maybe it would deter them, but it would just kind of piss them.
Or you could hear them.
Yeah.
Whatever, cussing.
Yeah.
That right.
You want to knock them on their butt and make them think twice about, okay, if this is electrified, how do I get in here? All that. But that really isn't a bad idea. Something that can be turned off, like nowadays. And then if something big does happen and you're trying to keep people off your property. Now, granted, with any perimeter security type thing, it's only where it is. You can't do that. Most people can't do that to their whole property.
Right.
But if you can funnel them in, if you can get them to come in where you want them to come in, by doing stuff like that, you're increasing your odds of defending yourself.
And I'm thinking too, in a long-term survival situation, even if you have a gun and ammo, you want to save that. I mean, you don't want to use that at all. So everything that you can do to prevent them from entering your space and you having to waste, bullets and stuff is going to be to your advantage.
Yeah. And if you're talking about an SHTF type situation too, you don't want a situation to escalate to that level, because then there's a lot of things after that.
Yes.
Happen.
Yeah. Exactly.
Family, all that stuff.
Yeah. You don't want to have to take somebody's life. So if you can just deter them without that happening, then that's all the better. Cause I couldn't even imagine, what you'd be forced to do.
Like. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, then you'd get something turns into like the Hetfield and the McCoys. Post SHTF, everybody's killing everybody just for revenge.
Fun. Yeah.
For fun.
It's true though.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, they must be guarding something.
Yeah. That's, and I mean, that
now
brings
we have
up
a reason to go take them out.
Yeah, but that brings up a good point too, is if you don't need to show everything that you have, as far as like, it's nice to have a nice yard and all of that, but you don't have to go out and buy the latest and greatest gadgets and show off to everyone what you have, because if you're showing off everything that you have now, if something does happen, you're going to be a target instead of just blending in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and that's what we want to do.
We want to be invisible.
Yeah, it all boils down to your mind. Learning about what could be used as an improvised weapon, and then knowing, learning about when and when not, and just be smart about everything you're doing.
Yep, where to strike with that item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And get physically fit, as Sara says.
Yes, that's right, because you need the muscle to do it.
Yep.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I think we pretty much killed that episode. That we kind of covered it. Why don't you go ahead and let everybody know where to find you, what you're working on, and just share all those goodies so that they can come over and check you out.
Lisa and I do the Survivalist Prepper podcast together weekly. It comes out every Thursdays. We also have the Survivalist Prepper Academy and the Survivalist Prepper website. Recently, I've been working with Brian Duff from Mind for Survival and Ryan Mitchell from thetinylife.com on our new website, The Preparedness Experience, which is we do weekly live videos. We're going to have a preparedness conference coming up next year. A lot of just really cool, and it's fun to work on. With Lisa, she's got her, if anybody out there's equestrians or whatever, she's kind of focused on, when she's not doing the Survivalist Prepper podcast, doing your stuff, right?
Yep, I'm the budget equestrian on YouTube. So everything budget related, and actually it kind of is prepper related as well, because it's how to do things with horses on a budget, and that sometimes is not easy.
So the saving money aspect. Yeah. Plus the horses could be used as bug out vehicles if I knew.
Or a weapon. They totally could be used as a weapon too.
Or a food supply.
Yeah, that's what I'm probably thinking.
You're thinking food. I'm thinking weapon.
I know how to get on a horse and get him to move a little bit, but as far as riding, bugging out, yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks so much for coming back on the show. I always appreciate your time. It's always fun to get together with Dale and Lisa.
Yep. Best afternoon ever. Getting to talk to Sara.
Yep. Thank you, Sara.
Thank you so much, Dale and Lisa, for coming back on the show. I'm going to just try and think of any excuses I can to have you on my show all the time, because I just enjoy it so much. And can't wait to see you out in Denver. That is September 22nd and 23rd. We will be out in Denver, and I'll have lots of books on hand, and it's going to be a good time. So hope to see you out there. It was great when I went down to Mesquite, and I got to meet so many fans, and just a really, really rewarding experience. So I know it's going to be even better in Denver. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You guys are what makes the show go round. I can't thank you enough for everything that you do for me, and I'm going to just keep trying to work hard to do the best job that I can for you. If you would like to become a Patreon contributor, head on over to www.patreon.com/changingearth. That's www.patreon.com/Changing Earth. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your guys' support and all the support that you give the show. It is really what's keeping it going at this point. I want to thank you for listening to the show. You guys are what makes my world go round. I'm just going to keep trying and to entertain and educate you best I can. Season 5 is going to reveal some great topics, and Dark Days in Denver is an absolutely incredible story. It might be my new favorite altogether, so I'm really excited to share that with you. So we can look forward to season 5 coming up. But until then, remember, dream, survive, thrive.
Thank you for joining Sara for this episode of the Changing Earth podcast. Don't forget to pick up your copy of Day After Disaster, Without Land, The Walls of Freedom, and Battle for the South at www.author.sarafhathaway.com. If you love Sara's books and this podcast, please head over to Amazon or iTunes and let everyone know by leaving a review.